pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have a proclamation.
We do? Okay. The 98th anniversary of the League of Women Voters. Who will be accepting this proclamation today? Morning.
Good morning.
You want to tell everybody here who you are?
Sure.
Go right ahead.
Melissa Kircher, Superintendent at Bethel Tate Local Schools and a proud member of the League of Women Voters for Clermont County.
Marty Kleinfelder, member of the League of Women Voters.
We're tickled to have you here today.
Thank you.
A proclamation, 98th anniversary of the National League of Women Voters. League of Women Voters, Making Democracy Work Day. August 26, 2018. Whereas the League of Women Voters of Clermont County is where hands-on work safeguard democracy leads to civic improvement. And whereas the League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization that has fought since 1920 to improve our system of government and impact public policy through citizen education and advocacy. Whereas Women's Equality Day, August 26, marks the 98th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which gave U.S. women full voting rights. And whereas League members are constantly striving to serve their communities to improve the quality of life for all citizens, and whereas the League of Women Voters of Clermont County collaborates with other organizations to achieve mutual goals, increase civic participation, create lasting change in the community, and to make democracy work. And whereas the League of Women Voters for 98 years has held the public trust by respectfully bringing elected leaders and the public together through nonpartisan civil means and through thoughtfully advancing solutions. Now therefore, let it be proclaimed that we, the Clermont County Board of County Commissioners, do hereby declare August 26, 2018 as League of Women Voters Making Democracy Work Day in honor of the League of Women Voters 98th anniversary, and urge all residents of Clermont County to acknowledge the significance of the League of Women Voters in our community. And it's signed by the Board of County Commissioners, Edwin Humphrey, President, David Painter, Vice President, and David Ubel, Member. Congratulations on your 98th anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Podium's yours.
No, thank you.
Okay.
We just want to thank them for this honor. We do appreciate it, and we'll continue to be nonpartisan and promote forums in our county.
But don't leave, we'll take a picture right out front.
Don't they
Come on.
talk about the Orphagatch thing? They always talk about the Orphagatch dinner.
Oh,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Promote the Orphagatch dinner.
You want to promote your Orphagatch? Yes. Mm-hmm.
This Tuesday night, we will have the Gatch Award for Outstanding Woman Volunteer in the county, and we have 7 nominees this year. And you're all invited to come.
And the location?
They need your help. I'll be at the Holiday Inn at 5:30 is a social hour. Dinner is at 6. The program will start at 6:30.
People sign
Thank you,
up
Marty.
online.
Yes, I can.
They can.
They can, yes.
League of Women Voters.
ClermontCounty.com.
Perfect. All right. We got-
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm going to move public participation up because I had a request today. So anyone that would like to participate in public participation, please come forward. During this time, the board does not answer questions or engage in debate. No member of the public may comment on matters that are not within the purview of the county commissioner's responsibility. Commissioners are not expected to comment on matters brought before the board during this time. Each speaker shall speak only once and shall be recognized by the president. In accordance with the board's rules of procedure, your comments are limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to participate? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Humphrey. I'm Chris Hicks from 444 Woodward Court, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45255. My comments may be a little out of turn because they're supposed to be after the actions that will take place here today, which I'm sure will be an approval of a tax increase to support a private company. But I want to highlight a couple points that I think are really important that people know that have not really been revealed. In the development agreement around FC Cincinnati, it repeatedly refers to purchase agreements relating to the land, which are 2 parcels. I'll read a couple excerpts. Page 2. In order to facilitate development of the project, the developer, either itself or through its affiliated entity, has entered into options for the purchase of property, quote, purchase agreements. Later on page 4, it says the city, referring to Milford, will consummate the acquisition of the property pursuant to the terms of the purchase agreements. Then on page 5 of that same developer agreement, it says the developer will assign or cause to be assigned to the city, referring again to Milford, the purchase agreements for the purposes of allowing the city to acquire the fee title to the property. I found out yesterday after records requests that nobody in Milford, nobody on the commissioners, and nobody in the Port Authority has ever seen these purchase agreements. We don't know how the prices were arrived at. We don't know what negotiations took place on behalf of the taxpayers. We have government voting to commit $3.5 million, ultimately $5.4 million worth of debt service payments over 20 years to fund purchase agreements that none of us are allowed to see. I'll read an excerpt from an email I received after a records request for these purchase agreements from Mike Manier, the law director of Milford. Quote, to be absolutely clear, the city of Milford is not now, nor have we ever been in possession of any purchase agreement or other document that was presented and signed by Expressway Park. The city did not purchase the property from Expressway Park, and the parties to that transaction have not provided the city with a copy of the signed document. Nor do we have any documents signed by Beauty Ridge, the other parcel, relating to the FCC project. To me, this is a great example of government gone awry with taxpayer money. Purchase agreements for land being funded by taxpayers where the taxpayers, even their government officials, have never seen the purchase agreements. I question through what lens that makes any sense. Whether you support or oppose the agreement, through what lens does it make sense that taxpayer dollars are committed to the purchase of land without the taxpayers or their elected officials being able to see the purchase agreements in support of those things? I want to remind everybody that the price being paid for the land, we've been told, is $5 million, which is 2.5 times the latest appraised value, not the assessed value, the appraised value, which is supposed to be market value, 2.5 times. Not only does it involve the hotel tax, 100% of the hotel tax, but the citizens of Milford need to pay $43,000 to $47,000 per year to support the land purchase. By the way, why is that number variable? Because they are responsible actually for the debt obligations. So if the hotel tax were lower because of, say, a recession, the Milford residents have to pay more. That's why their payment varies. Beyond whether you have liberal or conservative views on corporate welfare for pro sports, or views on the typical outcomes of a Jeff Birding deal in our region, or the shaky business case provided by the economic study that I'm glad was provided by one of our commissioners and Milford ultimately, or that study was done by a consultant who's been paid by the CVB for multiple years. Without seeing purchase agreements for land, it is absolutely ludicrous that our government officials are committing $5.4 million of debt payments to fund that land without any transparency whatsoever. We don't know, relating to those purchase agreements, how the prices were determined. We don't even know the split between the two parcels that are involved. We don't know what fees might be being paid to other people as part of that transaction. The only thing we know is $5 million, and we know that that's 2.5 times the last appraised value of that property. Thank you very much, Commissioners, for giving me this opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else would like to speak? Anyone else during public participation? Okay. Then
Approval minutes?
we have minutes to approve. Yes, thank you. Minutes of 8:14 and 8:15, regular minutes. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. And I think that concludes our before the consent agenda. Consent agenda was put together for us and emailed to us on Friday. Are there any items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda for further discussion and consideration, or may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as a whole?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as shown on August 22nd, 2008.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. And the non-consent agenda begins on page 4 with item 9. Item 9 is a resolution 135-18 to pay our bills and other considerations in the amount of $1,738,163.80. Do I have a motion for item 9?
So moved?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All in, roll call?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 10?
Morning, I'm Lyle Bloom, Director with the Clermont County Water Resources Department, and item 10 is a recommendation to award the bids for maintenance and repair of the water and or wastewater systems and appurtenances pursuant to the specifications to Utter Construction Incorporated out of Bethel for items 1 through 5 for an estimated total amount of $338,586.40, and to Schweitzer Construction Company out of Cincinnati, Ohio for items 6 and 7 for an estimated total amount of $290,750 for the lowest and best bids received on June 28, 2018 at the item prices as outlined therein based on the stated estimated quantities, and to execute the contracts for maintenance and repair of the water and or wastewater systems and appurtenances accordingly, effective August 25th, 2018 through August 24th, 2019, with the option to exercise an extension for 1 additional year term pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and award of bid therefore, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase orders. So items 1 through 5 are the crew and equipment rates for making the repairs we'll use for a water main break, for an example. That would supply the equipment and the labor to do that repair. It also includes the backfill. So in theory, they're going to go out, they'll make the repair, they'll backfill the hole either with CDF or granular backfill. And then items 6 and 7 is the repair, is the restoration. So that would be for the pavement restoration and for the yard restoration, if there's any associated with any type of main break or sewer repairs. Typically, we have one contractor that gets both contracts, but we bid this out with the option to award 2 different contracts to give us the best pricing. So this will be the first time we have 2 separate contractors. We're going to have a meeting with them tomorrow to work out the coordination efforts between one company doing the repair on the infrastructure and the other company coming in to do the repair on the surface.
And just a question there, Lyle, or just a point of clarification. When you have these material quantities contract in there, would you just describe, the actual controls that you put on that work to make sure that the quantities are correct and that, the repair is actually ordered up and properly supervised?
So we issue work orders with estimated quantities particularly we'll use pavement for the asphalt. That's in a cubic yard quantity. Once the repair is actually completed, they attach material tickets for the actual, let's say, asphalt that was used. So then we verify that with the material tickets and field measurements to verify that the quantities are actually what was done. On the crew rates, if there's a 3-man crew out there, we'll have staff verifying the equipment that's being used on the job and the number of employees that Utter Construction's supplying.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion to award the bids as contained in item 10?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 11.
Item 11 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 136-18, resolving to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County and the Goshen Local School District out of Goshen, Ohio, relative to the installation of radio equipment on the Goshen Elevated Water Storage Tower located at 6729 Goshen Road in Goshen Township for radio communication purposes with all costs associated with the installation, removal, and maintenance to be the responsibility of the Goshen Local School District, effective upon execution by the Board of County Commissioners pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein and in concert with Section 307.09 of the Ohio Revised Code. So I was approached by Goshen Local Schools a few months back. They are upgrading their radio equipment for communication with their busing, and they were considering building their own radio tower, which would have been adjacent to our elevated water tower that's adjacent to the Goshen school campus. And so they had asked if they could install their radio equipment on our tower, and we thought that would be a good cooperative effort. It's going to, I'm sure, save Goshen schools a little bit of money. The agreement does allow them to use the electric service that's there that we use for our water tower for their radio equipment, which will be very small, but that does include that provision.
Another good cooperation. Sure. Yep. Do we have a motion to adopt resolution 136-18?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 12.
Good morning, Brandon Hepner, ISD Director. It's a recommendation of John Cascading, Director of Department of Public Services, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to authorize Edwin H. Humphrey, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the service agreement by and between the Board of Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, and Cincinnati Bell Telephone Company for the provision of a 50 meg dedicated fuse internet at the Clermont County Communications Center for the 911 leads, mapping, and net motion access at the rate of $1,164 per month for the period of 36 months upon execution, and thereafter, and after expiration thereof, to exercise the option to renew the referenced agreement for up to 2 successive 12-month periods, all at the initial terms and rates of conditions stated therein, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set therein.
Brandon, can you explain exactly what we're doing there?
So basically what we're doing is we're separating the 911 or the dispatch from our network for security purposes.
And then we've installed additional firewalls as well?
Yes, they're going to have all new equipment and they will be totally separate from our network.
This helps us how? Just in case what would happen, separate us so that if your system
Security
would be
purposes, so we're not
breached
getting, if we get hit with a denial of service attack or if we get hit with other attacks, it doesn't affect our operation.
at 911. Okay. Thank you.
So Brandon, this $1,164 per month, is that only used if there is an emergency, or are we using it all the time?
No, we're going to be using it all the time. It's going to be
24/7.
24/7. I mean, it's up all the time and it's separating the networks.
And then Suki, this doesn't, they would not have to pay their prior access fee, right? 911 does not have to, so this is not necessarily an increase monthly for them?
This is a new, so we're absorbing in ISD the current internet service. So in essence, we have and correct me if I'm wrong, additional bandwidth available, kind of,
Yes, we will
on our
pick up
current
the
band
bandwidth.
by taking Thompson off of it.
Another question I had, Brandon, I mean, this is the county. Megabytes, download speed, I guess.
Up, down,
But just yesterday, Cincinnati Bell offered me 1 gigabyte at my house. I'm sure you guys have 1,000% more requirements than I do at my house. But
So-
why 50 megabytes, that seems like it's 1920.
So this is dedicated 50 meg. What they're offering you most of the time at the home is a shared. So depending on the number of people that get on will affect the speed. This is dedicated. And the amount of information that we're using, I mean, we normally have anywhere from maybe up to 100 vehicles on the one time. It's not taking up that much bandwidth to allow us to do the job that we need.
Dedicated is why it's 1150
Yes,
a month. Yeah.
dedicated.
Got it.
Very good. Do we have a motion to execute the service agreement as contained in item 12?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, Judith?
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye. Item 13.
Good morning, Sandy Tahat, Human Resources, and this is a recommendation of Judy Eschman, Director of Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to adopt a revised table of organization for Job and Family Services as outlined in Exhibit A, attached thereto and made a part thereof, to eliminate 2 vacant full-time positions, those being 1 Administrative Support Coordinator and 1 Business Service Representative, resulting in an overall decrease in the full-time staffing levels from 218 to 216 positions, effective August 22nd, 2018. And the elimination of these positions represents an estimated cost savings of $130,000.
Do we have a motion to adopt the revised table of organization as contained in item 13?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion?
None?
Okay. Judith?
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye. Item 14.
Thanks, Sandy.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is a recommendation to execute a record plat number 629-3070 for the dedication of Afton Drive in a length of .397 miles, as well as the dedication of .1718 acres as additional right-of-way along Half Acre Road in Williamsburg Township, and accept Afton Drive as a public road for placement into the Clermont County Public Road System. So, new county road.
Okay. We have a motion to execute the record plat as contained in item 14.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion? Judith?
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye. Item 15.
Thanks, Sandy.
Yvonne Smith, Benefits Coordinator. It is my recommendation, with concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to authorize Edwin Humphrey, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute tuition assistance applications submitted by the following employees for participation in the Clermont County Tuition Assistance Program pursuant to Section 4.12 of the Clermont County Personnel Policy and Procedures Manual. And those employees are Taylor Lee of the Prosecuting Attorney's Office and Joseph O'Brien of the Community and Economic Development Department.
Do we have a motion to execute the tuition assistance applications as contained in item 15?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion? Judith?
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Thank you.
16. Thank you.
Morning, Sue Kashid, Assistant County Administrator. Item 16 is a recommendation to adopt Resolution 136-18, which resolves to recognize an outstanding obligation of the county relative to the provision of cab services that was provided by JMK Transportation. This was back in the end of November, or November and December, 1 week of December in 2016. And we're also authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement and release of all claims. and to forward a copy of the certified resolution to the auditor so that payment can be made. This payment amounts to $10,303.10. This, I believe, is the final cleanup of a couple of these outstanding issues at the CTC operation.
Do we have a motion to adopt Resolution 136-18 is contained in item 16?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion? Judith?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 17.
Item 17 is a recommendation to reappoint Nick Baker to serve on the Clermont County Convention and Visitors Bureau, and his term will be 9/2/2018 through 9/1/2021.
Okay, do we have a motion to reappoint Nick Baker to the Clermont County Convention and Visitors Bureau? It's contained in item 17.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion? Judith?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 18.
Morning, Mary Raines, the Office Management Budget. Item 18 is a request to increase the annual appropriations. We have a couple in juvenile court within general fund, regular salaries and sick leave payout at retirement for the vacation and sick leave of a juvenile court employee. The salaries is in the amount of $21,664, and the sick leave payout is $6,499.20. Then we have $1,000 in other expenses for the Community Development Block Grant Fund for mortgage recording fees that come up periodically throughout the year. And the final three are for the Soil and Water Conservation District, $3,000 to salaries, $1,800 to fringe benefits, and $15,124 to other expenses. And that is for a watershed grant that was received from the Ohio Department of Agriculture.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt the supplemental appropriations as contained in item 18?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion? Judith?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 19.
Item 19 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 13718, resolving to levy an additional 1% excise tax on transactions by which lodging by a hotel is or is to be furnished to transient guests pursuant to and in compliance with Section 573909A12 of the Ohio Revised Code for the construction, improvement, or maintenance of a professional sports facility that will be located on properties located in Clermont County, and more fully described in Exhibit A to the Professional Sports Facility Development Agreement among the City of Milford, Clermont County Convention and Visitors Bureau, and FCC Training Facility, LLC, dated as of August 10th, 2018, and which is to be acquired in whole or in part with the revenues from the additional 1% excise tax, and which shall be imposed on lodging transactions occurring after October 1st, 2018, and until the earlier of one such time as the county has received written notification from the City of Milford, as is provided in Section 65 of the Cooperative Agreement, which is Exhibit A, or 2, December 31st, 2038, the last bond payment date for a 20-year bond issue therefore, and further to authorize Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute the Cooperative Agreement by and among the City of Milford, Clermont County, and the Clermont County CVB, for and on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, in and as it relates thereto. Judy, will you please read the resolution?
Sure.
So back up, the Section 6DV of the Cooperative Agreement is what it says in my agenda rather than 63. It sounded like 63.
I think it's
but it was
Section 5.
Okay, thank you.
This is Resolution 13718. The Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, met in regular session on the 22nd day of August, 2018, with the following members present: Edwin H. Humphrey, President; David L. Painter, Vice President; David H. Ubel, Member. Mr. Move for the adoption of the following resolution. It's a resolution increasing the rate of the excise lodging tax by 1% on transactions by a hotel to transient guests pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5739.09, and execution of cooperative agreement related to the use of the incremental lodging tax proceeds. Whereas the Board of Clermont County Commissioners, by Resolution Number 73-80, adopted on June 26, 1980, imposed a 3% excise tax on transactions by which lodging by a hotel is or is to be furnished to transient guests. Whereas effective September 29, 2017, Ohio House Bill 49 amended Ohio Revised Code Section 5739.09 by adding subsection A12, permitting a eligible county to increase the rate of the tax by no more than 1% on transactions by which lodging by a hotel is or is to be furnished to transient guests, with revenue from the increase in rate to be used for the purpose of paying for the costs of constructing, improving, and maintaining a professional sports facility located in the county, and paying expenses considered necessary by the Convention and Visitors Bureau operating in that county to promote travel and tourism with respect to that professional sports facility. Whereas Clermont County qualifies as an eligible county, as defined in Ohio Revised Code Section 5739.09 A12A1, whereas the increase in rate will be subject to the regulations adopted under Ohio Revised Code Section 5739.09A1, with the exception that no portion of the revenue from the increase in rate shall be returned to townships or municipal corporations as would otherwise be required under that section. Whereas the increase in the rate of the tax shall take effect only after the Convention and Visitors Bureau enters into a contract for the construction, improvement, or maintenance of a professional sports facility that is or will be located on the property acquired in whole or in part with revenue from the increased rate, and thereafter shall remain in effect for the period specified in this resolution, provided that the Convention and Visitors Bureau enters into a contract prior to January 1, 2019. Whereas, if the revenue from the increase in rate is pledged to the payment of debt charges on securities, the increase in rate is not subject to diminution by initiative or referendum or by law for so long as the securities are outstanding, unless a provision is made by law or by the Board of Clermont County Commissioners for an adequate substitute for that revenue that is satisfactory to the trustee, if applicable. Whereas at the Board of Clermont County Commissioners regular session on June 27, 2018, and special session on August 14, 2018, the Clermont County Convention and Visitors Bureau proposed the construction of a professional sports facility as defined in Ohio Revised Code Section 5739.09 A12 A2 on property located in the city of Milford, Clermont County, Ohio, and requested the Board of Clermont County Commissioners increase the rate of the excise lodging tax by 1% in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 5739.09 A12. Whereas on August 17, 2018, the Clermont County Convention and Visitors Bureau agreed to a professional sports facility development agreement, the development agreement, Exhibit A, attached here too, with FCC Training Facility LLC and the City of Milford for the construction, improvement, or maintenance of the FC Cincinnati Professional Sports Facility, including the acquisition of property used in connection with the operation of the professional sports facility, and that the development agreement is a contract with the Clermont County Convention and Visitors Bureau, pursuant to which FCC Training Facility LLC has agreed to construct the professional sports facility. Whereas in Section 2A of the development agreement, the City of Milford agreed to issue city obligations in an aggregate principal amount equal to the amount needed to provide net proceeds sufficient to pay the cost of acquiring the property used in connection with the operation of the professional sports facility. And whereas, in accordance with Section 3 of the development agreement, the Clermont County Convention and Visitors Bureau agreed to a contract with FCC Training Facility LLC for the constructing, improving, and maintaining a professional sports facility. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, with at least 2/3 of its members thereto concurring as follows. Section 1. The Board of Clermont County Commissioners does hereby levy an additional 1% excise tax the incremental lodging tax on transactions by which lodging by a hotel is or is to be furnished to transient guests in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 5739.09A12. Section 2. The revenue from the incremental lodging tax shall be pledged to pay, in whole or in part, the city obligations as described in Section 2A of the Development Agreement for the acquisition of the property located at the southwest intersection of I-275 and US 50 in the city of Milford on parcels of land more fully described in the Development Agreement. Section 3, the Board of Clermont County Commissioners shall execute the cooperative agreement, Exhibit B attached hereto, by and between the county, the city of Milford, and the Clermont County Convention and Visitors Bureau Incorporated, which details the actions of all parties related to the flow and use of the incremental lodging tax. Section 4. The incremental lodging tax will be imposed on lodging transactions occurring after October 1, 2018, and until the earlier of 1, such time as the county has received written notification from the city of Milford, as is provided for in Section 6D5 of the Cooperative Agreement, or 2, December 31st, 2038, the last bond payment date for a 20-year bond issue. Section 5, that the Board of Clermont County Commissioners hereby finds and determines that all formal actions relative to the passage of this resolution were taken at an open meeting of this Board, and that all deliberations of this Board and its committees, if any, which resulted in formal action were taken in meetings open to the public in full compliance with all applicable legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Mr. Seconded the resolution, and on roll call the vote resulted as follows. And this resolution was duly passed on the 22nd day of August 2018. Attestation, Judith Casika, Clerk, Clermont County Board of Commissioners. This resolution was prepared and approved as a form by the Office of the Prosecuting Attorney of Clermont County, Ohio, by Alan L. Edwards, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney.
We have a motion to adopt Resolution 137-18.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I will second that, but based on the resolution we have here, it says August 10th, 2018 for the contract, the professional sports facility development contract, and the one we have in front of us is August 15th. Should we maybe change that or make that amendment?
We'll note it.
It was the one that was provided and attached as Exhibit A, as dated as of, but if it's been updated, we can certainly change that to be, since I have a fully executed copy, to August 15th.
Last night by the city of Milford. So we have all parties have signed off on the agreement, but it is dated August 15th.
Yeah. Given that change, I'll second resolution number 137-18.
Discussion? I think that all of the persons involved in this, Milford Schools, are satisfied with the amount that they're receiving. Milford City is satisfied with their agreement. We've gotten letters from law enforcement, fire, and EMS service departments all saying that there are no increased things that they will have to do in order to make this agreement move forward. So with that in mind, any other discussion?
I'd like to say, I guess I've been working with Jeff Birding since 2012 when I became a commissioner to develop soccer fields here in Clermont County. Initially, junior soccer programs with King's Hammer, and then more recently here with the elite professional soccer, FC Cincinnati. But all in all, I guess the difference is the 1% lodging tax, which separates the two. But I had kind of formulated some thoughts this morning before coming here, but I'll go ahead and read these to you. But the lodging tax legislation was designed specifically for economic development by taxing people who come here from outside the county to use our services. Our own citizens pay property taxes here, so why wouldn't we want to tax out-of-towners a little bit more? This is a consumption tax, and personally, as a conservative, I like consumption taxes because it affects those who use our services. Clermont County's economic growth and development, as a result of incentivizing companies to move here, will lead families, individuals in the county to use these new jobs and additional income to increase purchases, which in turn furthers human development with increased consumption and spending on health care, education, social services, and infrastructure. One begets the other. This will cause a higher standard of living for citizens, which is one of the primary goals as commissioners. Economic development by government has been going on forever. Let us not forget that the Republicans in the House of Representatives offered legislation which gave 160 acres to all adult male and female, black and white, native-born or immigrants to incentivize people to move west. This was known as the Homestead Act, which Lincoln signed into law in 1862. 2 years later, Lincoln offered 40 acres and a mule to former slaves to go south. Were these healthy economic development plans? Absolutely. Were these giving government assets away to a select group of people to advance the country? Absolutely. As a business person, I love this deal. Here are the facts. Clermont County incentivizes the city of Milford to buy property for FC with a 1% lodging tax. This is estimated to be about $250,000 a year. This will result in $7 million of additional spending each year in the county, which will result in $500,000 in additional sales tax. So in summary, we give away $1 and we get $2 back, and everyone wins. And oh, by the way, the company we are incentivizing with the $250,000 per year is investing $430 million of private capital in the region for the benefit of the people. The clear winners in this transaction is the city of Milford, Clermont County as a whole, and all of our citizens who call Clermont County home.
Any other discussion?
No, I appreciate that, and just to discuss that a little further, I see this particularly as a little different view. Just to make sure, we talked about history and 40 acres and a mule. I just want to make sure that none of those landowners ever got that 40 acres. That legislation was turned over by the next incoming president, and none of those slaves, indentured people, ever received their 40 acres. I just went on that historic tour of Savannah and learned those facts. But what I will say about this is, this is about picking winners and losers. Whenever you invest in a business, people tell me a lot of times that government can't be run like private business, and I disagree with that a lot. Government, the stakeholders in this particular deal are the citizens of Clermont County. Citizens deserve to get something in return on their investment. The thing that's the basis of all business deals is it's all about money. It's all about money, folks. It's about how much money comes in and about how much money goes out. One of the things that's in this deal is we've talked about a lot of the expenses. We've talked about what the benefits are to Clermont County, but what the things we've never talked about is the revenue. And so I just want to call your attention to that. We probably missed an opportunity in 1964 when Coney Island moved to Kings Island, and what that's done all around the county of Warren. So there's two ventures here. One is the fact that training and academy facility is exactly that. It's an academy facility. How revenue is gained from an academy facility is by the selling of memberships into the academy. And that nets, I can only tell you from looking at FC Dallas, about $15 million a year. One of the things that we've never had a discussion about this deal is about what the revenue is and what's expected to the people of Clermont County. There's a lot of stake in this. There's a lot of not tax money that's being abated, or real estate taxes that won't be collected on this improved value. A lot of times when we bring businesses here, we just brought a business here called the Design Within Reach. We did give them a 20% abatement for the first 10 years, but we expect them to pay their taxes on the improved value. So I think I'd leave it at that.
Commissioner Painter, I appreciate that. Next year when I become a private citizen again, which will be nice, I'm thinking about starting a professional pickleball league. And when I come to you asking for benefits, I hope you guys turn me down,
Understood.
because you have to pick winners and losers, and that's going to be a loser. Yeah.
Any further discussion?
No.
Call for the question, Judith.
Mr. Painter?
No.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Next on our agenda is executive session. We have a
We
need.
do have an add-on.
Have an add-on.
Okay, add on. Sorry.
I know you want to talk a little bit more.
I'm just dying to talk. We had a petition for annexation of 96.7449 acres from Stone Lake Township to the Village of Owensville, filed with the Board of County Commissioners on Monday, August 20th, by Michael Manier, attorney at law, for and on behalf of Rick McAvoy, as the designated agent for the petitioners, and comprising 18 parcels of real estate in compliance with Section 709.02 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pursuant to Resolution Number 21-03 adopted by the Board of Clermont County Commissioners on February 25, 2003, and in compliance with Section 709.03A of the Ohio Revised Code, notification of the date, time, and place of the public hearing will be sent to the agent for the petitioners via regular U.S. mail on or before Friday, August 24, 2018, designating Wednesday, November 14th, 2018, at 11 o'clock a.m. local time, in the office of the Board of Clermont County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, 3rd floor, Batavia, Ohio, 451032960, as the date, time, and place for the aforestated hearing thereon. As you can recall, the window to establish the date, time, and location for the hearing is after the 60th day and before the 90th day from the date of filing. And within those dates are Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. And the board traditionally has held these meetings on Wednesday during a regular session. I have proposed that date, time, and location to meet within that statutory requirement.
We have a motion to acknowledge the filing of the petition for annexation and setting the public meeting as described in the add-on.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. And now we go to executive session unless there's any other add-ons.
No, sir.
Okay. We have a need for executive session pursuant to 121.22 G1 and G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, or compensation of one or more public employees, and to confer with the prosecuting attorney regarding pending or imminent litigation, respectively. Do we have a motion to go into executive session under those two sections?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. We'll be in executive session. Back shortly. We're back from executive sessions. No decisions were made. Do we have some add-ons?
We have two personnel actions, one in the Department of Job and Family Services, Jonathan Olay, Social Service Worker 3, termination, probation removal, effective 8/22/2018. Water Resources Department, Carrie Burns, Water Resources Department Operator 3, administrative leave with pay, effective 8/20/2018.
Do we have a motion to approve the personnel actions?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Judy?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. I think that concludes our business. That concludes our business for today. Thanks for joining us, and God bless.
To adjourn?
Good.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Make a motion to
Oh,
adjourn.
sorry.
Second.
That concludes our business for today.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Okay, now I say it a third time. That concludes our business for today.